Hi, Assalamualaikum. Today in this video, I will present to you about the implementing back and forward navigation in a web browser using a stack data structure. This is the introduction of the project that I have made. This project involves implementing the back and forward navigation features of a web browser using a data stack structure. Okay, as we know, when we using a web browser, they will allow us to use go back and forward function. Okay, the back function will allow the user to return to previously visited websites, while the forward function will allow the user to move forward through their browsing history. So the stack data structure will be used to store the history of the website that searched or visited by the user, with the most recent website will be on top of the stack, and the back and forward navigation can be implemented by making use of the push and pop operation of the stack data structure. There are few application operations that stack data structure used in the web browser, such as home navigations, refresh, zoom, print, and go back and forward navigation. Okay, the home navigation, which is the home page button, is there in every web browser. When you click the home button, it takes you directly back to the home page of the browser, and the user can set any web page as the home page as they want. Okay, the refresh. Refresh function of button is to refresh any web page or reloading a web page. Okay, usually refresh is used to refresh the page that does not load and give blank page. The next one is zoom. By zooming, any user can increase or decrease the size of any web page according that they want, and all the content of the web page gets bigger or smaller. Other operation that can be used is print and backward and forward navigation. For print, if user wanted to view the web page offline, they can use print functions to print the web page that they want, and also can use to convert the web page into PDF format. Okay, for the backward and forward navigation, pressing backward button once will navigate the user to the last page. As we know, uh, when we press the back button, it will take us to the last page that we browse. And pressing it twice will navigate to the second last and so on. This same goes to the forward. This will make it easier for the user to navigate through the web page that they have viewed in the web browser. I had selected backward and forward navigation as my operation data organization. Okay, this is for when we visit a new web page. Okay, the first one will check if current URL is not null or empty. And second, if true, then push current URL into backward stack. Then set current URL to current URL. Okay, for example, when a user visits google.com as their first visit of the day, algorithm will check the current URL. that is not null or empty in this case. It is null, so it will go straight to the setting current URL into the currently visits the URL, which is the google.com.my. As you can see, the current URL is www.google.com, when which is null, empty. Next, if the user want to visit a new web page or search them, the as an example, the next user will visit youtube.com as next. So the current URL is no longer null. So it will push the current URL to the backward stack. As you can see in the diagram, when the google.com is in current, then it will push the current URL to the backward stack, which is the google.com. Then set current URL to currently visit URL, which is www.youtube.com, and the current URL will change to youtube.com and the backward stack will be google.com.my. Okay, this is the go backward operation. First, check if backward stack is empty or if current URL is equal to top of the backward stack. The second one is if true, then prompt user that navigate backward is not available. As then push current URL to forward stack, set current URL to the top of backward stack and pop backward stack. For example, user press backward button when they not yet visit any web page of the session. Algorithm will check if the backward stack is empty or the top backward stack is equal to the current URL. In this case, it is true that the user is not yet visit any web page, so the system will prompt the user is going backward is not available or disabled. As we can see, the current URL are and the backward stack is null and empty condition. Okay, for different scenario where user already visits a web page, then they press the backward button. So the algorithm will check if the backward stack is empty or the top of the backward stack is equal to the current URL. For this case, it is false because it will push the current URL into the forward stack. As you can see, the current URL now is facebook.com, which is not null or empty condition. Then the forward stack is facebook.com that push to stack. For the backward stack, www.youtube.com, and beside it will be google.com. Then set current URL to the top of the backward stack. So as we can see, the current URL is google.com that set to the top of the backward stack. Then move to the backward stack is youtube.com, and the top of the stack is Google as the current web page that we visit. Finally, pop backward stack, which is google.com. This is the go forward operation. Okay, the first one we check if the forward stack is empty or if the current URL is equal to the top of the forward stack. If true, prompt user that navigate forward is not available. Is then push current URL to the backward stack. Set current URL to the top of the forward stack and pop the forward stack. Okay, for the example, user press forward button when they not yet to visit any web page on the web browser. Then the algorithm will check if the forward stack is empty or top of the forward stack is equal to the current URL. For this case, it is true that user not yet visit any web page for the session, so the system will navigate toward is not available. As you can see, the current URL and the forward stack is empty. For the different example where the user already visits the web page when they press the forward button, the algorithm will check if the forward stack is empty or top of the forward stack is equal to the current URL. In this case, it is false because it will push the current URL into the backward stack. As we can see, the current URL is the google.com, then it will push the current URL into the backward stack behind the youtube.com that the user search. Then for the forward stack, then set current URL of the top of the forward stack. Current URL, as you can see, it is facebook.com that's set to the top of the forward stack. Then finally pop forward stack, which is null and empty. Here you guys can see the algorithm of backward and forward navigation, which is involving if and else. Also, this is the backward operation, and here are the algorithms that involve. Here are some of the existing application code with the output that I have searched in Google and others. In the Java code, the stack class is used as collection class to implement the data structure. The stack class is considered implementation of the collection interface which is part of the Java collection framework. The collection interface defines the number of methods and operation on a collection of elements. Based on the previous slide that I have showed, this is the list of operations by the collection interface and the stack in class involved. Okay, the collection interface is add element adds a new element to the collection. Is empty, which is written true if the collection is empty and false otherwise. Pick is returns the element at the top of the collection without removing it, and lastly pop remove and returns the element at the top of the collection. For the stack class is push element, which is add a new element to the top of the stack. Then pop remove and returns the element at the top of the stack. And lastly pick, which is returns the element at the top of the stack without removing it. Lastly, this is the conclusion and the summary of my project. The purpose of this project is to implement the back and forward navigation in a web browser using a stack data structure, which we had learned in the previous slide that web browser use back and forward navigation as a stack data structure. The back and forward function allow the user that move through their browsing history. Also, the stack data structure will store the history of the website visited with the most recent website at the top. When we search something or a web page, Then after that, we want to search a new one. The older web page will be stored in the web history. Then the recent website is at the top of the history, which implement the stack data structure. And the successful implementation of the features allow the users to navigate through their browsing history more easily and efficiently. Overall, the stack data structure help us to use web browser easily. Thank you very much.